So this is the idea, to be able to implement the print stack, and therefore.
You're going to change point at this. You got to put a P in from the stack, the address. No, you don't. Never mind.
Let's try this.
Never mind.
Let's try it like
I'm
this.
wrong. You're passing it.
Let me first pretend that this is a member function. So I have unlimited access into my stack, and I will do something like this. All right, so let me display the header file. So integer index or size t. Actually, you know what? Let me again just kind of clarify this. Build solution. I just want to build it to show you something. Let me see, I messed up someplace in the declaration area.
Semicolon?
Yeah. Oh yeah, thank you. This needs to be a semicolon. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So build that. Okay. And the only reason I built it, just to show you that sometimes if you're curious what this is, right click and say go to the declaration. You go to the declaration, it takes you to some file, and it is actually defined as unsigned int. That's all it is. So basically an integer which is not signed. It can only be a positive integer. That's all that size t is. We'll talk about type defs and the purpose of their use. But essentially, it just says, and you can ignore this because most likely this is just a blank line in our case. But I just wanted to kind of demystify what the size t is. It's just another integer, but unsigned int. And I will talk about it later on when there will be a good time to talk about it.
Do you do that outside of the for loop for compatibility reasons?
Well, I will have to discuss this interface in more details to actually explain why I think using something like that is a good idea in this instance, but not today. I'm just since this came from the assignment description, I'm stuck with the size t, and you know. So anyway, so now let me try attempt to implement this function. First, pretending that this was a normal member function. Then I would do something like this. Again, I will use size t to start with, so I will use index starts with 0. Right? So size t allows only positive numbers. It doesn't know anything about negative numbers. So right here I will say index is less than this initial storage size. Agree? Initial storage size. And again, I'm pretending that this is a member function. And the ++ index, like for the entire storage size, go ahead and dump this cout or whatever std cout. Dump basically this m storage. Dump this m storage pointed by this index. So go ahead and dump it and print like new line at the end. Print new line at the end. And so we print it, but also if, I will say if index is the same as MSP, agree? If index is the same as MSP, also print like an asterisk to display where the stack pointer is. std cout display like a little asterisk, right? Space, asterisk, space, and display an index value. So we indicate where the stack pointer is holding up right now, right? The only problem here is that print stack is not a member function. It does not belong to the stack. So unfortunately, none of this is available. Okay, then I have a pointer to stack. To be able to access the internals of an object using pointer to an object, there is this syntax. It looks like an arrow. So this is a pointer dereference operator for objects. So this is an alternative. When we use object, we say, well, you know, inside the stack there is this constant variable declared. There is also what's declared there also is the storage, and there's a MSP and things like that. So I can use pointer to an object to be able to access internal stuff from my object. So then if I try to build this, now the errors that I'm getting is that cannot access private member declared in class. So intentionally we made this and let me make it visible more or less. This and this and this. These are all private members of the class. And what we're trying to do with this debug level function, like our own debugging, is that we're trying to make sure that we can access those. The way to make this happen is that you have to declare this function inside your stack in any place, and I prefer to do it right on top. You have to say that this is a friend, okay? And basically say to the compiler that don't worry, we have a friend. It's a function, and all it takes is just to declare it as friend before the rest of the function declaration. Declare it like this. So now if I try to do this and build it, right? And even if I try to run this, so here it is. I'm not sure what I'm looking at, but I am pretty sure that 11, 22, 33, and 44. Oh, those were never initialized, so everything is good, right? So then there's wait a minute. Let me make it so it actually worked. It's just a little messy. So give me a second. I know we're a few seconds over. Right here, instead of printing a new line, I will not be printing a new line, and instead I will be printing a new line right at the end. Right? See out and printing it right at the end. And I also will be printing here maybe like a tab or something to make it look nice. Maybe a couple of tabs over. So let me try this. I do. Well, it never changes, does it? So, same mistake. Control F5, try to run this. So there you go. So now we have, we print our stack, and we also, I kind of use a couple of tab characters and say, hey, this is where the stack pointer is currently pointing to. And of course, it's one element beyond the lastly stored element, because now it's basically an element ready to accept the next value if there another push on the stack. So clearly, and when we come back, maybe we could also improve this version of print stack to say, if stack is empty, just say stack is empty, something like that. But anyway, if I try it, just one last try. If I print it right here, after popping all elements, let's see how it looks like. One last thing right here. So now, basically, of course, like we discussed before, the content of the stack has not changed, right? Because the pop really just, what it does, it moves the stack pointer from this location to this location, to 0. So really, internals are still the same. But now the stack is empty. So it works more or less. So I'm happy. So thank you very much. Let's